I said if we could raise $1 million, that would be good. And we ended up raising almost $6 million, and I'm going to have more coming in over a period of time. Oh, I'm totally accountable, but I didn't want to have credit for it. Now, actually, though, what I got was worse than credit because they were questioning me. And this is money, and by the way, most of that money went out very early, just so you understand. But a lot of these groups, getting vetted by, when you pay the money out, they need government documentation. They need a lot of different things. Plus, we want to find out, is it a good group? I had teams of people reviewing statistics, reviewing numbers, and also talking to people in the military to find out whether or not the group was deserving of the money. We have given to groups that are unbelievable groups. And honestly, I wish you could hear the phone calls and see the letters. They are so happy. And I'm happy to do it. I didn't want the credit for it, but it was very unfair that the press treated us so badly. Yeah, go ahead. Well, generally speaking, that's 100% true. Go ahead. I like scrutiny, but you know what? When I raise money, excuse me, I've watched you on television. You're a real beauty. When I raise money for the veterans, and it's a massive amount of money, find out how much Hillary Clinton's given to the veterans, nothing. And then I see a few guys standing out there. They don't even know what they're there for. They have no idea. They're there because Hillary Clinton's campaign sent them. And actually, I think it was you or one of you that found out that they actually were with Hillary Clinton's campaign, which was interesting, but I wasn't surprised. I don't want the credit for it, but I shouldn't be lambasted. And remember this. So out of the almost $6 million that was raised, not one penny did I take for administration costs. That's unheard of. Okay. How else am I going to raise the money? How else am I going to raise the money?
What I'm asking, I guess, is when you did this fundraiser, it was televised, you were doing
sure.
Instead of doing a debate, it received wide attention.
Sure. I would have given this out, just so you understand, until I was criticized. So I'm the only one in the world could raise almost $6 million for the veterans, have uniform applause by the veterans groups, and end up being criticized by the press. Yes. I made a speech, and during my speech I said, let's raise a little money for the vets. It turned out to be a lot of money, not a little money. I thought if we could get to $1 million, it would be great, which it would have been. That's right. That's right. I do raise millions. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah.
Writing $1 million check is incredibly generous, but the night of that Iowa fundraiser, you said you had raised $6 million. You had not. Your critics say you tend to exaggerate. You have a problem.
No, I raised almost $6 million. Some of it didn't come through, but more money is coming through than didn't come through. The number probably is going to be, when we finish it, probably going to be over the $6 million. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. I don't mind it coming from the opposition, though, Carl. What I do mind is when I raise all of these millions, and when we started out, nobody ever thought it was going to be over 5 million or close to 6. All right, so look, here's the story. I think, and I've been dealing with the press a long time, I think the political press is among the most dishonest people that I've ever met. I have to tell you that, okay? Of course, you're excluded, Carl. But I think the political press, you're in the middle. I think the political press, I see the stories, and I see the way they're couched. For instance, I went down this weekend to do Rolling Thunder. I was invited. I didn't have anything to do with it. We had a tremendous gathering of people, thousands, I don't know how many, but many thousands of people. And I joked, I thought we were going to go from the Jefferson Memorial to the Link. I was joking. They said Donald Trump was disappointed. Everybody knew I was being sarcastic and joking. They said, some of them. Said Donald Trump was very disappointed that it didn't go from Jefferson to Lincoln, millions of people. I was joking. I said, I'm used to watching it. I was joking. So they put it down as serious. They know I was joking. I'll give you another example. We had the same event. It was roped off where you could only get so many people there. And there were a lot of people. I don't know, 10,000, 15, maybe 25,000. I don't know. There was a lot of people. Plus, there were people breaking the seams all the way along. Gene Washington, a man I like actually, wrote an article like there was 5,000 people there. There were many times that. And you weren't allowed to have any more people. And all of these people were with their motorcycles in parking lots all the way. They're waving to me as I'm going by. But wait a minute. The point is, law enforcement, these people, didn't allow you to have any more people. I think the press knew that. I had a tremendous crowd, but it was the biggest crowd you could have had because it was all cordoned off. You weren't allowed to have any more. They weren't allowed to have any more people than they had. So instead of saying Trump made a speech in front of a packed crowd, they said Trump was disappointed because I didn't have millions of people going from Jefferson to Washington. I mean, give me a break. It's just, honestly, it's dishonest reporting. Yeah, go ahead. No, go. Well, the veterans believe me. Let me tell you the veterans why they believe. And I have one group was here that I gave. Is Al Baldessero here? Maybe you want to say, this is a group I gave money to. Now, I could have asked all these groups. He just showed up. I just saw him. But I could have asked all these groups to come here, and they could have made, I didn't want to do that. I'm not looking for credit. But what I don't want is when I raise millions of dollars, have people say, like this sleazy guy right over here from ABC. He's a sleaze in my book. You're a sleaze because you know the facts, and you know the facts well. Go ahead. You might say something.
Thank you, Mr. Trump. First of all, for the record, I'm a state representative from New Hampshire, 10 years on the Veterans Affairs Committee, 22 years in the Marine Corps, retired First Sergeant. What I want to clarify here, first of all, I would never, ever in a million years put my name on a candidate that did not, from his heart, look me in the eye and tell me he's concerned about veterans. That's Donald Trump. I met him over a year ago. I've been involved with many fundraisers. There are many scam artists out there. He did the right thing by vetting these groups there. If you look at some of the groups, they're giving 20 cents, 40 cents on the dollar, and they're spending the rest for, their, nice lavish trips. He gave 100%. The liberal media is the only ones that have been calling me on the foundation. All right, I'm the former chairman. I've been dealing with this stuff for years as a veterans activist. Stop using veterans as political pawns. You got a guy outside McCoy. Go do a Google search on his Facebook. He's out there, his pictures with Clinton. They are using veterans as political pawns. It must stop. Donald Trump is doing this for the heart. You're all focused on the way he's raising money, and you're not looking at the 22 veterans that are killing each other every day. You're not concerned about the thousands of veterans that are on wait lists. Look at his plan on his Trump's website. He talks about medical cards. He talks about fixing the VA. He talks about competition. I think the liberal media, and I've been dealing with you a long time, you need to get your head out of your butt, focus on the real issues. Thank you.
What I did is, I didn't ask Al. I've gotten to know Al a little bit, primarily through New Hampshire, where we had great victories. But he showed up this morning because he was upset, and many of the other groups are very upset. They received $100,000 in the mail. They didn't even know what it was for. It was from me. Other groups received 200, 250, 250,000. They didn't know what it was for. And I have, again, upstairs, I have received phone calls with people crying. I have received letters, heartfelt letters. And, it's, it really, the bad part about the dishonesty of the media is that people like me will be inclined not to do it anymore. Because why should you raise $5.6 million, and I think I'll go over $6 million pretty easily. Nobody said that we started this out as a small little project where it was less than $1 million because it just kept mushrooming and building and building it, but nobody talks about that. So we raised $5.6 million. We have so many happy groups, so many happy veterans, and then I see these guys, these Hillary Clinton people outside. Now, of course, they don't know the extent. They probably figured, based on reading the press, that Trump didn't raise this kind of money. But we raised a lot, and I'll be raising more, and we'll be sending it to other people as we get along. It's a complicated process, yeah. No, it doesn't. It really, the government sort of approves different groups for a lot of reasons. And so it really does. And more than anything else, it's also speaking to other veterans. We have a circle of veterans. And who's good for it? I don't want to send a $250,000 check to a group that doesn't do good work. So it's called vetting. We vet the vets, but it's called vetting. No, I think that it's bothersome because I love the vets, and I've worked hard for the vets. And as you can see, I've given a lot of money and raised a lot of money for the vets. And I think when the press portrays it differently, the press is being very dishonest, so I don't like that. I don't like dishonesty. Not you. Go ahead. Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions is a fantastic man. Jeff Sessions is one of the most highly respected people in the United States Senate. Jeff Sessions is a person that I believe that Ted Cruz just has the most respect for, and I think Ted thought that he would get an endorsement. You know, Jeff Sessions has never endorsed a presidential candidate before, as many years as he's been in the Senate. So, you know, Jeff Sessions certainly is somebody that I would consider, absolutely. He's a fantastic person. Yeah, go ahead. I think it's a very tough call. It was amazing because there were moments with the gorilla, the way he held that child. It was almost like a mother holding a baby. It looked so beautiful and calm. And there were moments where it looked pretty dangerous. I don't think they had a choice. I mean, probably they didn't have a choice. You have a child, a young child is at stake. And, you know, it's too bad there wasn't another way. I thought it was so beautiful to watch that, you know, powerful, almost 500-pound gorilla, the way he dealt with that little boy. But it just takes 1 second. It's 1 second. It's not like it takes place over, well, he's going to do it in 30 seconds from now. It just takes one little flick of his finger, and I will tell you, they probably had no choice. Go ahead. I'm in favor of fixing the VA healthcare. VA is one of the great catastrophes in this country, what's going on. You look at what's happening in Phoenix and different places throughout the country where they're catching people stealing and they don't even fire them, where people are waiting 5 days, 6 days, 7 days online. They're dying while they wait online. And I am in favor of, if they can't get to a doctor within a reasonable period of time, they're going to go see a doctor, and the country's going to pay for it. They're going to go to a private doctor or a public hospital or public doctor, but someplace that can take care of them immediately. We're losing thousands of people waiting online, and the Veterans Administration is run by Obama just as incompetently as he's running our country. You look at the TSA, you look at what's going on at the airports, and you look at that, okay? Just take a look at that. That's like the Veterans Administration. Nothing in our country works anymore. It's a mess. And maybe that's why I'm doing so well in the polls. Yes. No, it doesn't have to be privatization. No, it doesn't have to be privatization. What it has to be is when somebody's online and they say it's a 7-day wait, that person's going to walk over to across the street to a private doctor, be taken care of. We're going to pay the bill. And by the way, that's going to be a lot less expensive. And we'll check it out and be careful. But that's going to be a lot less expensive than what's going on. These people are living in hell. And Hillary Clinton said the Veterans Administration is working just fine. And the head of it, McDonald, said last week that waiting in line's not bad. Look at Disney World, okay? These are the kind of people we have running things. It's ridiculous, Dave.
There's a Rasmussen poll out today that says that half of Americans think Hillary Clinton should stay in the race even if she's charged with a felony. Does that suggest that you're continuing to pound her, and gee, I don't know if she can even run, I don't know if she can run?
Yeah, no, David, I tell you what, that's their choice. You have a party called the Democrats, and they're going to have to make that choice. It's, you know, I think it's probably going to be her because it's rigged. And I think if you people will say, I'm the one that came up with the term rigged, I used it for myself, except I won by such big margins that the fact that the whole system is rigged on both sides. Same with the Republicans, just less obvious. The Democrats with the super, you know, with the whole super delegate thing, it's ridiculous. So I think that they're going to have to make that determination. If you're asking me who I'd prefer running against,
Do you think she committed a felony?
I think what